it's a pleasure to have you here today. And
Yeah.
I would, as you maybe know, I would like to talk to you today about the esports booming we are all
Yeah.
witnessing in our industry. And with the COVID-19, the crisis appears to disrupt traditional sports for many months. And so naturally, the iGaming and the sports betting operators are pivoting towards the esports at
Yeah.
phenomenal level. However, the Pinnacle already has impressive esports offering even before all this crisis.
Right.
So the question is, how have you expanded that, or how are you managing to differentiate your offering?
Well, I think what we've tried to do is improve what we have.
Mhm.
Now we have all eyes on this, the one prize, which has been super helpful. So the team has been focusing on improving the product. We've added things that we wouldn't have added just because, we want to have more product offering for the clients. But then with that, we have to put a few more eyes on for integrity as well, things that aren't as popular. And, it's really about, again, focusing on making it a stronger product. Also, with the Pinnacle solution concept, making it a better product for potential partners. I think the differentiation between Pinnacle and other esports is Pinnacle knows how to make money with esports. And so it's nice to have it, but, we're all in it for there's a goal,
Yeah.
and my team has just done a phenomenal job of focusing on the product and allowing it to monetize in a way that other people haven't been able to succeed with.
hmm And what I think that many people are curious about it. How have bettors reacted to this new reality? I mean, what are you noticing? Are your traditional bettors trying esports, or are you just attracting more existing esports fans?
Yeah, I think it's more of attracting more esports.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it's kind of like the idea of, as an American that I am, if you tell an American that's a hardcore NFL fan, do you want to bet on soccer, as they call it? It's a transition. So I think the idea of everybody just betting on esports because it's there, I don't think, that it hasn't proven to be quite that.
Mm-hmm.
There's also table tennis, and, we're getting a little bit creative with the Belarus football
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. Again, we've
That's what's left.
yeah, and we've taken
Yeah.
our play our
Yeah.
some of our team and put them on integrity, just because that's always at the forefront of whatever our goals are when we're trading.
Yeah, and what about those integrity issues, with the esports betting? I mean, has Pinnacle experienced any problems, or, I mean, or in general, what are the biggest issues with esports betting from Book's point of view?
Yeah. I think, when there is match fixing, that's one
Hmm
of them. But again, the one misconception I feel with esports is it's a digital footprint. So, it's not about really, when something has gone wrong, you can go back, you can look at everything, and the digital footprint is really helpful in identifying. So, and we have a lot of models and different triggers that let us know through the betting patterns if something looks suspicious. So, again, part of the success with Pinnacle's Esports is focusing on the integrity and ensuring, that we have not just the best product for our clients, but also to protect ourselves and, most importantly, and protect the integrity of the game.
Yeah, exactly. And the innovation at Pinnacle was always a very strong point. So
Yeah.
that's definitely helps. So,
Yeah.
and from experience, which esports are proving most popular? It's,
Um, Counter Strike. You mean
okay.
with
Yeah.
that? Are you talking about esports specific?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Counter Strike is super popular.
Yeah, and the
And
sim
I think we
racing,
could,
because we are covering that a lot. That the sim racing is started really booming as well.
which one?
The sim racing, like in general, as a part of the
Right.
esports.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, another thing, esports it's a bit more, it's not complicated for my guys, because they know it so well and they're very patient with me to teach me. But, it's, there's esports is a huge it covers so many different things, but there are some games in particular that are easier and set up more for actual betting on him. Some of the
Yeah.
games are just too fast. It doesn't make sense. People they put it up because everybody's playing it, but it's just not a product that you
Mhm.
can or should bet on. So, and that's where I think also we focus so much on the products that are bettable, and you can manage the integrity of it. We don't just put up anything.
And
So it's
what do you
quite
think?
thoughtful.
What do you think? About this. The esports. The boosted esports betting. Like, do you think it's gonna last? Beyond the crisis, because that's
Oh
actually a
yeah.
topic we're covering a lot at Ion
Yeah.
News. That we actually, this crisis speed up all the process, but we see the millennials actually really going, pivoting towards the esports. So,
hmm No, I think it's, we're not expecting to drop off as soon as everybody can start going out and doing things. The esports bettors are always there. I think generally they're not the most uh, extroverted people. They're more introverted anyway. So, we're not looking to lose the market share that we've been able to obtain throughout this process. But, I think they are going to remain sticky for
yeah.
sure.
And that's actually my next question. Like, I think it's fascinating to compare that what are the biggest, like, what's the most noticeable difference between esports bettors and traditional sport punters? You know,
What is the
the,
what? Sorry.
the noticeable difference, between these two kind of the bettors.
There's a lot of differences.
Yeah.
I think the expectations from an esports bettor is much higher.
Mhm.
You have to be relevant. You can't, they can read through the phoniness. I think we're in the process of building out a specific esports hub, but
Mhm.
it says a lot about the quality of the product that the team has put out based on the fact that they're coming to a sports book site that's not specific for esports at this stage. So, we're really hoping to complement the product that we have with an esports hub that has a lot more content driven, a bit more of a aesthetically pleasing site that they actually desire and require to be more sticky long term.
Yeah, they're definitely techie savvy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So,
just it's interesting. They're very, I would say that esports better is a bit more unforgiving. You see different trends in different sports, and like every once in a while I'll read something, or my guys will send it, and once somebody has done something that is unpopular
mhm.
by opinion from them, they're done with it. Like, there's not a lot of second chances with it because they're waiting for the next thing,
Yeah.
and they deserve that.
I mean, it's quite fascinating, even when you see, those people in the arenas at the esports tournaments. They're really passionate about it,
Yeah.
it's so controversial, because there's still so many, bookies who don't believe that it's actually even like real sport
Yeah.
or as industry, and then when you see them at those arenas, it's very fascinating
Yeah.
as such.
Yeah. And the one thing, I've been to a couple world champion matches, and I'm always shocked at the age variations of people, because people think esports is a bunch of children, and
Exactly.
it's not. Well, obviously with us, the average bettors are over the age of betting, obviously, but I mean, it goes from like 21 to 38, and it just keeps, as we progress, as our time keeps progressing, they keep getting older and older. So, it's a huge, vast market, and a lot of disparity from the age of interest.
Exactly. And it's just going to continue. And, maybe a little bit, my question about the crisis in general, and about the bookmakers. Like, we here with Ion News, we were covering the development of the crisis and the predicting of the global shutdown since January.
hmm
And so my question is, why do you think it seems like, it seems that have caught so many bookmakers off the guard, all the situation, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, did you guys predict that that all the major leagues in the world would shut down
To be
completely?
very
Like, I don't
honest
think,
with you, to be
yeah.
honest with you, we were really like we especially the chief editor.
Hmm.
He was literally at the beginning of January. There's something wrong about the news about the COVID virus, and it's gonna be huge.
Right.
So
Well, yeah. And maybe nobody listened to him. But I think, I mean, this is likely going to be the only time in our lifetime that this happens. Like, we've all experienced the devastation of 9/11 and different, hurricanes and tsunamis and earthquakes. And, we've had a lot of catastrophic experiences. None of them have been global. So when 9/11 hit, you have rest of world, you know, from a business perspective. But, I think it's such a catastrophic global crisis that, and one thing, you don't want to believe it, quite
mm,
obviously.
yeah,
I would have never dreamt in a trillion years that the NBA playoffs, Euro Cup, would be postponed. The
yeah.
Olympics would be postponed. Like, these are big deals. Now, we're all waiting, um, trying to be super positive, optimistic, patient with when things are going to start back up. And a lot of it has to do with economics.
And what do you think? What's your opinion actually? When it's gonna start, or we're gonna slowly?
Mhm.
Obviously it's gonna be gradual, but
Yeah.
what's your kind of personal prediction?
Yeah. Well, I want to be positive. So I hope they start up. I do think that the most unfortunate part of it is going to be that they're going to be in empty stadiums, and you do have to look at the health and the protection of the players. There's a lot at risk, with those guys getting sick, but it's really going to be about confined environments that they can be productive. The other thing is, you can't just say, "Hey, next week we're starting NBA," when these guys haven't been training, because the long-term, effects of a bunch of million-dollar players that are getting injured because they're not even in proper shape right now. Those are just small things, of course, but they're big. Well, I guess actually big things that you have to
Yeah, it's
consider.
actually the big deal, for them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But did you hear about the ideas to create the immunity passes?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
What's
that's
your take on that? I mean, for me, it's truly controversial. I think what I could see on the internet, on the web, like it's like a black and white. There's people who really support the idea and
mhm,
who are really against it.
yeah. Well, I think it's just, it's partially the desperation to get something going. The sports is,
Truly.
it's not, it's not just, it's not just about getting people. It's the passion that people have for the sports. It's part of healing. It's part, like in the US, you see, as soon as somebody, a state has a massive hurricane, all of a sudden they win the national championship. It's amazing how sports bring people together due to the passion that everybody has. So, I think just trying to be optimistic and desperation just for getting it somehow, in order to not expose too many people, and, trying to find that happy medium is going to be really difficult.
Mm.
But, I always find it interesting. You don't see the public broadcasting message that says, if you don't feel good, just stay home. Like, why is somebody who has a fever going out wandering around? What are you thinking? So
But
I don't
there's
know.
there.
That's a basic.
But there's this idea, that people will be, just so into it to go back to the stadiums that they will actually, like, cheat and getting these immunity passes just to get, from the home and to see
Yeah.
their matches. So
Yeah. Well, there's a loophole for everything,
Yeah,
unfortunately. But
exactly.
again, they have to, I think it's important to keep safety first, safety of, again, they always say it's not about you, it's about the people around you. That's where it's complicated for some people to understand the social distancing. You know, like I'm super healthy, work out every day.
Cool.
The chance of me getting sick is going to be pretty unlikely. But if I am out and somebody around me gets sick and then I go to somebody and I'm a typical carrier or whatever, yeah, there's just the risk to others that you have to be more concerned about than yourself.
So, and my very last question is, so what future holds for Pinnacle?
You know, this sometimes I feel a little bit guilty about being as optimistic as I am. We have a phenomenal team. We're doing everything we possibly can to take advantage of a crap situation. We have the downtime we've never had. We've got a lot of technical legacy. We're working through that like mad, going full throttle for the technology, improving things, improving people, doing more training. I think I'm confident that when we get out of this, which, that's a big gamble or bet on how much time it's going to be, we're going to be a much stronger organization with a lot more focus on our different verticals, our Pinnacle solution. Obviously, as soon as this came out, I think when everybody has all the sports happening, then you have esports and you're like, okay, check in the box, we have it. And then when it's the only game in town, you go, oh wait, we're not making money on that. So people that have used other providers, they're knocking our door down saying, hi, can we talk to your Pinnacle solution team, because we're just not making money here. And rest assured, the partners with Pinnacle B2B are definitely making money. So we're really trying to take advantage of that.
Well, as you said, you're the best at making money in the end.
We all have a purpose. No.
Well, Paris, thank you so much. Thank you for your, for your time that you share with us, your insights, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you will all agree. It's definitely interesting time for both esports and the betting industries. And
Yeah, it is.
yeah, the time
Yeah,
will tell.
yeah, and it shows how resilient, how resilient people are. And the other thing I've noticed that's really admirable is the camaraderie of the people within the industry.
Yeah.
And even the SBC conference, like that's
Yes.
phenomenal. The whole, we all thrive. Conferences aren't exactly fun. You have to travel, leave your family, get off of your routine. But the added value of the networking, in particular
Yeah.
SBC, it's my favorite. But
And how we fast, it's fascinating, is that how fast the industry reacted,
yeah,
all the
yeah.
changes.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And, I think even after this conference, you're going to see a lot more people meeting up and, just kind of spending more time together, and trying to work through things together. Because, the one thing is we all have the same, it's not like this is not a Pinnacle problem. This is not a sports betting problem.
Okay.
This is a global problem. And, like I said, I've spoken to a lot of my counterparts within the industry, and they're just amazing. We're all facing the same challenges, and it's nice to be able to reach out and share concerns, thoughts, and ideas.
And even like it was also very like, it's just great that, you see people more pushing like their own interests and desires. Like, I don't know if it's only me, but I noticed like on LinkedIn, like people during this crisis, they have obviously more time and they're staying at home. So, they're pushing, their more desire, maybe those stuff they didn't have a time before. And it's very inspiring to see that people, try to push the micro businesses or try to make money with their interests that they didn't have, like,
Yeah,
they didn't do before.
yeah. Very interesting times.
Yeah, exactly, Paris. So, I wish you luck. I'm gonna be
Thank
there.
you.
I'm gonna be an SBC, the Digital
Wonderful.
Summit. So I'm looking forward to see you
Come to
over
the
there.
esports panel. It'll be great. I'm with a great team of people.
Exactly. It's gonna be
Yeah.
fun for sure.
Sometimes it's a little intimidating, you know. I have a lot more employees within Pinnacle that are more up to speed on esports, but I learn a lot from the panels as well.
Yeah, it's still unknown territory in the end,
Yeah.
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 So Paris, I wish you have a nice weekend
Thank
and
you. You
stay
too, and stay
healthy.
safe. Yeah, absolutely.
Stay healthy. Ciao,
All
ciao.
right.